Alright guys, Raw Russell here, and today I'm going to be reviewing NXT Takeover War Games 2, a show that many have called one of the best NXT takeovers of all time. Some have actually called it the best NXT takeover of all time. Do I agree? Do I disagree? We'll find out as I go through this review. Johnny Gargano's shirt on today. I'm sorry this is going up a little bit later. I had a couple of things I needed to deal with before this review could be put up. But I'm excited to do this review. I'm excited to talk about this event. I've actually rewatched most of it today as well, just to kind of really define what I think to everything. But yeah, this show, I'll just get out of the way, fantastic wrestling show. Just a great NXT is just one of those dependable things, and I think that even sometimes like New Japan and Ring of Honor and Lucha Underground are not as dependable as NXT. Every takeover in NXT is arguably one of the best shows of the year, and I think this will be one of the best pay-per-views of the year come the end of December. But anyway, we should get into the show. The first match on the show, firstly, the show kicked off and Matt Riddle came to the ring. Basically, this was his debut, his takeover debut. He's appeared obviously on NXT. I can't believe who he beat. I can't remember who he beat. I think it was like Raul Mendoza or something. But he came out. He talked to the crowd. He said "bro," which made me laugh because my friend, like a second before he said that, said, "Oh my god, it's Zack Ryder," and then he said "bro," and I was like, "Oh my god, it is Zack Ryder." But no, Matt Riddle's excellent. Matt Riddle said that basically he and Cassie Sono were going to have a match scheduled for next week's NXT, which I imagine would have been a dark match on this show. But he said, let's just do it right now. Cassie Sono came out, cut a heel promo on Riddle, and so we had our match. Matt Riddle versus Cassie Sono. I imagine this was put on the show because the show only had 4 matches, and it's very tough to do 2.5 hours with 4 matches. I mean, the last match was obviously going to be very long, the War Games match. They are usually very long, and this one was a long one too. But I guess they just needed another match to kind of kill a little bit of time. And that's what we thought. I think we all thought, oh my god, they obviously need to kill like 10 minutes for the match. No, Matt Riddle straight up runs in, knees him, 1, 2, 3. Cassie Sono loses in I think 6 seconds, which is a takeover record, I believe. But yeah, Matt Riddle wins. Matt Riddle's great. Cassie Sono is unfortunately one of those guys who's a little bit old for NXT now. He's 37, I believe, maybe 38 or 39 even. And I think that it's good to have guys like Riddle actually go over him in this sort of fashion because you really want to get Riddle over. And I know that WWE really do like Matt Riddle. He's got the physique. He's got a great charisma. He's got a very interesting style. They really like their MMA guys at the minute with Fish, O'Reilly, Riddle, obviously Baszler, Rousey. We've got a lot of those that talent, obviously Nakamura a couple of years back when he was in NXT. But no, this I can't rate it because obviously only like 6 seconds. But this was, I think, fine for what it was. I think that Ono can very easily get heat back on an episode of NXT and just be, again, one of the smaller guys that don't really use much like a Raul Mendoza. But no, this was a fun opening to the show. We started off with the real show, really, the show that was promised to us. And it was the Women's 2 out of 3 Falls match, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler. This one was a lot quicker than I expected. I thought this would be quite a drawn-out matchup where the falls would be evenly, shared out. But no, this was like a very rapid 2 out of 3 falls match. But I actually do think that they did the best they could with the time they were given. They were only given about 11 minutes. And I think that Kairi and Shayna have had, 4 matches now, I believe, in NXT. Obviously, Shayna won 2 and Kairi's won 2. So it was nice to see a 2 out of 3 falls end the feud. Good, that's good. It's just solid storytelling. It makes sense. And I think that this matchup was very, very good. I don't think it was the best one they've had, but I do think it was probably, third. I'd say the Brooklyn one and the Evolution ones were both better. But I'd say this was better than their Mae Young Classic final match just. So very early on, it did not take very long for stuff to happen. Like in 2 minutes, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke of the Horsewomen came out. They posted Kairi Sane, threw her in the ring, and immediately Shayna locked in the rear naked choke. Kairi tapped out. She did fight for a little bit, so Shayna won up in very quick fashion. Kairi would fight back. She basically hit a big, insane elbow drop to the outside on all 3 of the Horsewomen, threw Shayna in the ring, and then hit the insane elbow on her. 1, 2, 3. That was tied up at 1 apiece. It was a very quick match. These falls were about 3 minutes apart, but it was very quick. Then towards the end of the matchup, really is where the stuff really happened. You had obviously Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke kept getting involved. So we had some NXT women running down. We had Dakota Kai ran down, and she took out both women, but eventually they took her down. Then Io Shirai ran down and did a fantastic moonsault onto all three women. As this was all happening, Kairi was in the ring. She gave Shayna 3 consecutive interceptors. Went up top. Actually, one of the really cool spots in this matchup was immediately after Kairi tapped in the first fall. Shayna got up and just kneed her straight in the face, and I thought she could have just gone 2-0, and I actually thought that would have been a very interesting finish. But no, towards the end of the matchup, Kairi hit 3 interceptors, spears. She went up top, she went for the insane elbow, she didn't land it. Shayna caught her in a crucifix, 1-2-3. Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's Championship. This was a very good match. I'd give it 3 3/4 stars. As I said, I don't think it's the best match the two have had, but I think as a way to go out, I think it's still a very entertaining matchup. And on any other WWE show, this would be one of the best matches. But on this show, unfortunately, it did get lost in the shuffle a little bit. I think that you can really decide between the 3 upcoming matches that I'm going to talk about and say which one was the best match and say if any of them were, match of the year. It all depends on you. I know Cultaholic, I think Jobber said that there were 3 5-star matches. I would differ a little bit. I probably wouldn't. Well, I guess I'll talk to them. But yeah, Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's title. 3 3/4 stars. Very good match. Next up on the show, Aleister Black versus my boy Johnny Gargano. Evil Johnny Heel Gargano. This was weird because you've got Gargano is, to me, he was the biggest babyface in the company, not called Daniel Bryan, and it's weird to think that they're now both heels. Very interesting Survivor Series tonight. I'm very much looking forward to see Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. It's very anticipated for me. But Gargano as a heel was interesting because Gargano as a heel can be great. Obviously, PWG and I believe Evolve and Ring of Honor. Maybe he may have been a bit. Dragon Gate. That's what I was thinking of. He can be a good heel. Obviously, to me, he's always going to be like a really great babyface, and turning the heel is interesting because it gives him a little bit fresh. It gives him something fresh to work with. But was it the right move? Was it the wrong move? Well, this matchup was excellent. Him and Aleister Black, they had an excellent babyface heel dynamic. There were just some really cool moments where this was stiff. This was like the stiffest match on the show and probably the most technically clean, perfect match on the show where there was no real problems. Whereas I think the match after this, the title match, had a better story and psychology to it. Although this one did have a very nice story. This one was all about Black kneeing Gargano in the head. Need him. Every conceivable way that Gargano could be kneed in the head, it basically happened. So Gargano and Black, they wrestled a great little match early. It was very striky, and it was very. Gargano actually really wrestled Black's match, which I think is a lot of credit to Gargano, who's obviously been wrestling Ciampa for 3 straight pay-per-views. And it's very interesting for everyone, I think, to see Gargano wrestle someone else. Because, is Ciampa carrying Gargano? Is it the other way around? Who knows? But here, it was nice to see Gargano against another guy and be as good as he can be with a different style. His style was, excellent. There were amazing spots where, for example, the first big spot was obviously Black does the acai moonsault back into the ring and sits cross-legged. He did that, and then Gargano ran in and just super kicked him in the face. It was just cool stuff that you didn't expect to happen, and it happened. And there were so many holy shit moments like that. There was a moment where Black went for the. Sorry, my phone just went off. I do have it on silent this week. Luckily, I remember my phone went off in the previous video, so I put it on silent. But no, Gargano. Black went for a moonsault to the outside. Gargano ran in the ring. As Black was like, "Oh my, holy shit, where is he?" Gargano suicide dive into the DDT on the outside. Later on, in one of the coolest spots of the match, Gargano went to do that suicide dive into the DDT again, and Black kneed him in the face, and it was perfectly timed. It was stunningly well timed. Black got in, and they just kneed each other. There was a great segment where they were just there'd be a big elbow from Gargano to get Black away from him. Black would just give him a big knee, or like Black had Gargano run towards the ropes, and Black gave him a huge big knee again, and all these knees were actually great near falls. Like, they all really did have a great payoff, and they all kind of built to you thinking, could he beat him with a knee? Like, could he seriously beat him with a knee? Because it's a big move for Black. Black, all these stiff kicks to the chest, the head, in an excellent spot. There was a spot where, Gargano was on the middle bit between the two rings, the metal bit. He went for the slingshot spear, got caught with a knee, then got given a big roundhouse kick, and then got given a German suplex for another fantastic near fall. That was awesome. Gargano at one point, he obviously hit a series of super kicks. He blocked in the Gargano escape. Black kept rolling out into pinfalls and stuff like that. Gargano went to the corner, went for the super kick, but then Black said no, and he did his sit, his cross-legged sit, and he said, "Come on, give me your best shot." And Gargano went, "You fucking bastard." He went for the super kick. Black rolled through, went for a schoolboy. Gargano rolled through, super kick, he pulled the knee pad down, and he gave him the big knee that he gave to Ciampa in Brooklyn, which I thought he's adopted it. Like, that knee is a very heelish move, so I actually kind of like that he's adopted that. Couldn't get the victory there. He locked in the Gargano escape towards the end of the matchup in the center of the ring. That couldn't get the victory either. Somehow both men got to their feet. Black gave him this wicked bicycle knee, and he gave him this knee, and Ciampa, his head fell into his head fell into the knee of Black, and Black he had his knee, and he his head rolled down his it's so hard to explain. Gargano's head rolled down Black's leg to his foot, and Black picked him up with his foot, gave him a black mass. Gargano's head fell into his chest. Black grabbed him by the mouth, said, "I absolve you of your sins," and gave him a second black mass. 1, 2, 3. This was an excellent professional wrestling matchup. I'm going to give this 4 3/4 stars. I can't quite give it 5 as much as I really, really want to. But this was absolutely excellent professional wrestling from two men who had a tough match. I think with Gargano being such a big babyface and now being a heel. But I think they nailed this. Absolutely nailed this. It didn't matter who won this in the end. It seriously didn't. I said Gargano was going to win because I think he had more life in NXT. But no, Black winning, perfect end to the story, really. After all this, he's been beaten down twice by Gargano. Finally got him. And it was just an awesome way to end the feud. There was so many great spots in that matchup. At one point, Gargano mocked Black and did the cross-leg thing, and then he did the pick-up with the foot kind of thing for the super kick spot, which was fantastic. Just an absolute... He asked for mercy at one point as well, and then locked in the Gargano escape, and he was like, tap, tap. It was awesome. I'm the hero. It's great. I've never seen, really, anyone like that as a heel. It's very interesting. Fantastic match. 4 3/4 stars. I need to move on. Next matchup, NXT title, Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa. This was excellent. Dream came out as Hollywood Hogan this time with the black and white bows and the NWO shirt. This match was... I think most people thought this would be the weakest match on the show. Dream is excellent, but I think obviously he's had matches now with Black, which were excellent. He had a match with EC3 in Brooklyn, which I thought was good. I thought it was pretty good. It just wasn't what I expect at a Takeover. A Takeover, I usually expect pretty much great matches throughout the whole card. But here with Ciampa, I think he had the best match of his career. And I think Velveteen Dream is now 23, 24. And he is not the best wrestler in NXT. I'd never say that. He's not top 10, really. Just because there's 8 guys in the main event that are arguably as good. And then there's 2 guys in the previous match, and there's Ciampa, and there's plenty of women who are just as good. But I think he is maybe the most developed wrestler ever, probably since Kurt Angle. Literally, I can't think of anyone who has developed as quickly as him. Shayna Baszler is another very good example. Rouse is a good example. But no, he is incredible. And the thing about this matchup that helped it, and it helped the previous match as well, red hot crowd for the whole show. They loved every babyface, especially Velveteen Dream. They really wanted him to win the NXT title. I predicted that Ciampa would win, but I think that we all, when we were sitting there, we all had a, like, it would be very cool if Dream won. It'd be a big shock. And this match had you thinking that Velveteen Dream was going to win the belt. There were some excellent near falls in the last 5-6 minutes. But they started with humour, which is fine. They started with a little bit of humour with Velveteen Dream's headband that came off. Ciampa mocked the Hogan thing, and then Dream got it back. And then Dream went and stole Goldie, the title belt, and Ciampa was pissed off at that. And then Ciampa started to get his heat. And Ciampa's heat is one of the best heats in the company. It is vindictive, it is powerful, it makes you wonder how the wrestler in the heat is doing. At one point, Velveteen Dream had saliva pouring out of his mouth. I imagine that was an accident, but to me it kind of added to it. Ciampa then rubbed it into his face. It was delightful and sick at the same time. Ciampa is a sick cult messiah. That's what he thinks he is. He's a cult leader. He thinks he's the greatest wrestler of all time, I think he said, or something, or the greatest champion of all time, greatest sports entertainer of all time. That was it. And it's just, these two men worked so well together. And Dream tried the Death Valley Driver, but he couldn't get it at one point. And the two men went out the ring, and Dream went for the spinning versus STO, but couldn't get spinning DDT, but couldn't get that at one point. Ciampa tried everything and got some big knees in. Again, a match where you've got a guy who uses a knee a lot. He gave him a big knee while Dream was laid on the announce table. Threw him in. Dream escaped that. But eventually, Dream, in one of the... my door just shut. That was really scary. One of the scariest near falls on the show, he hit the cartwheel Death Valley Driver, and he nearly got the NXT title. From that point, he was like, oh my god, what do I do? Ciampa, though, fought back with some wicked lariats. Got a Project Ciampa. Dream kicked out of that. They started proper going for the near falls at this point. Ciampa, again, just killing Dream. Ciampa went and got the title belt. And with the title belt, he, there was also spots where Dream would, mimic other wrestlers. So at one point, he, did 3 Hogan leg drops. He did the whole U and then the punch, boo, 1 Hogan leg drop, 2 Hogan leg drop, 3 Hogan leg drop. Then he went for the cartwheel Death Valley Driver. It was at one point when Ciampa grabbed the tights, and the referee was like, "No, don't do that." And Ciampa was like, "Ref, no!" And then he turned around, cartwheel Death Valley Driver, great near fall there. Ciampa got the title belt. He got Goldie. He went to use it, but the referee said, "No, you can't use it." He put it down. Dream caught him, gave him the spinning DDT on the belt. He looked at the ref. He was like, oh my god, I didn't know it was there. And the referee was like, you know what, that's fine. And then 1, 2, kick out just before the 3. So excited, actually, shockingly, that I thought that was it. I thought that was genuinely going to be it. Ciampa would maybe get a rematch because of, obviously, that stipulation. But that was one of the best teasers for a near fall I've seen all year. Excellent tease of a near fall. Dream, though, still, he just couldn't... He locked in a figure 4 around the ring post, homage to Bret Hart at one point. He then locked in a figure 4 in the ring. Ciampa escaped that. He locked in another one. Ciampa pushed him out the ring. As Dream went to get back in, Ciampa gave him the draping DDT. 1, 2, kick out by Dream. Excellent near fall again. The near fall wasn't at the end of this matchup. Really made it pay off and really made it feel important. Ciampa took Dream outside of the ring, but Dream speared him over the announce table. But Ciampa got up first, and for some reason, I think it's because Mauro Ranallo called him a son of a bitch, he pushed Mauro Ranallo. This gave Dream time to recover. Dream hit him with the cartwheel Death Valley Driver on not the exposed bit. So Ciampa had pulled the mats up, and it was exposed cement. But yeah, Dream actually hit the cartwheel Death Valley Driver on a double padded mat area, basically. Hit that, threw him in the ring, hit the purple Rainmaker. 1, 2, kick out by Ciampa at the very last second. Ciampa, as he kicks out, ends up all the way on the apron. Dream goes for the purple Rainmaker on the apron. Ciampa moves, rolls him back into the ring, and then gives him a draping DDT onto the steel in the middle of the 2 rings. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso Ciampa retains the NXT Championship. And the best part of this matchup was the ending, where like Ciampa's just on top of Dream and they're just both dead. Like, it was just, this to me was the best NXT title matchup. Oh my god, I can't even say of the year, just because, oh, it's so tough. It is so tough to say that this was the best NXT title match of the year, just because I'd say this was better than the Last Man Standing match in Brooklyn. But to say it was better than Almas and Gargano in Philly is very tough. I'm going to say, I think I'm going to refrain from giving this 5 stars. I'm going to give this 4 3/4 stars again. Absolutely fantastic match. Really fantastic stuff here from these two guys. They tore the house down just like the opener. And I hate the people that have always said you need a piss break match or you need a buffer match. These guys didn't have that. They had a really fast-paced match, and then the War Games match, there was no piss break. Incredible. 4 3/4 stars. Incredible. NXT title match. Tommaso Ciampa squeezes out of the Staples Center with the NXT title. The Velveteen Dream could go fucking main roster tomorrow. He could honestly do that, and it'd look incredible. So main event of the show, War Games, 8-man. We have the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong against the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne. The first 2 men in for each team would be Adam Cole and Ricochet. The rules are as follows. After a 5-minute interval, the first member of the Undisputed Era would come in, and then at 3-minute intervals, the teams would obviously switch. So it'd be faces, heels, faces, heels, faces, heels. So we had Ricochet and Adam Cole start this matchup. A little bit of callback to their Brooklyn title match, I suppose. A little bit of bad blood there, obviously, so it's a good way to start. They had a good little segment. Adam Cole hit an Ushika-Roshi, really controlled Ricochet until the last couple of seconds, where Ricochet would take control back. Then as the buzzer went off, Kyle O'Reilly ran down to the ring, and he obviously helped Adam Cole out, and those 2 heels took control of Ricochet. The next time around out, Hanson would come down to the ring and help Ricochet out. Those 2 worked together very, very well. They hit a assisted shooting star press. Ricochet did a shooting star press off Hanson's back. Very cool spot there. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly worked together though on Ricochet. They gave him an assisted Ushika-Roshi, which was very cool. Then I believe it was Roderick Strong who came down. He was a house of fire, destroying everyone. Knees. There was an axe and smash combination to Hanson, and then an Olympic slam by Roderick Strong. Those 3 men really took control of the 2 baby faces. Then Raymond Rowe would come down, and every time one of the faces would come down, Pete Dunne would be like pushed back, and they'd say, "No, it's my turn." And Pete Dunne looked like he was pissed, and this was like teasing the heel turn. Raymond Rowe came down, house of fire. Adam Cole at one point punched him while he had Kyle O'Reilly in a gut wrench, and he was just like, fucking threw Kyle O'Reilly went away and just gave Adam Cole shotgun knees. It was fantastic. Finally, Bobby Fish, the last member of the Undisputed Era, before coming down, came out of the cage, used the padlock from his cage to lock Pete Dunne's. So there was 2 padlocks on Pete Dunne's cage, one which obviously referees had the key for, and the other key, which Bobby Fish had been thrown into the crowd, never to be seen again. I'd love it if someone just threw it back. So yeah, now the heels had a very clear advantage. They had 4 and 3. Pete Dunne was in his cage. They just destroyed the 3 baby faces. Bobby Fish brought in chairs that had Undisputed Era logos on it. It was very, very cool. Very, very cool. They just destroyed Hanson, Rowe, and Ricochet. Ricochet took a lot of punishment in this matchup. Finally, the referees would bring out bolt cutters. They would let Pete Dunne out. He came in and kicked everybody's ass. It was incredible. He brought in kendo sticks. He brought in trash cans. He brought in tables. Now the final War Games match could begin. And it was about 20 minutes in. The War Games match begins. They all died, basically. Dunne got in there, just killed everyone, broke all the hands. He put Kyle O'Reilly's hand down kind of like that on the steel bit and then just stomped on it, just breaking poor Kyle O'Reilly's hand. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and everyone, you had Hanson just splashing and giving everyone like the hip attacks in the corner. You had Raymond Rowe just killing everyone with the knees. You had Ricochet who did a big springboard crossbody to everyone. as Pete Dunne came in. Then you had a great spot where they worked over Pete Dunne's knee, and then Kyle O'Reilly locked a chain around Pete Dunne's knee, locked him in a Boston Crab, and then the three other members of the Undisputed Era held that half of the ring. So the other faces, they couldn't get in, they were just holding the ring. Fantastic psychology that I don't think I've ever seen in a War Games match. Finally, though, Hansen just threw Ricochet into all the men. That was awesome. Ricochet killed everyone there. Adam Cole, though, just fought and fought and fought. There was two big Tower of Doom spots from Pete Dunne and Ricochet on, I believe, Strong and O'Reilly to both sides of the ring. We then had two tables set up. Bobby Fish speared Raymond Rowe through one table after Raymond Rowe had assisted a power slam for Hansen in one of the rings. So yeah, Bobby Fish then speared Raymond Rowe through a table. Kyle O'Reilly had a guillotine on. He had a guillotine and like a Kimura on Ricochet on another table that was set up. But Hansen from one ring jumped and gave a splash to Kyle O'Reilly through the table. That was awesome. Then we had Ricochet and Adam Cole climbing the cage. They were both on the top. Adam Cole's idea was just to throw Ricochet out, because if you leave the cage, your team loses by forfeit. Awesome and smart psychology. That didn't happen. Pete Dunne went up, suplexed Adam Cole off the top, while there were back suplexes from all these other guys and power bombs. And Hansen also had Kyle O'Reilly on his back. Ricochet was up top, and he looked at the big circumference of men, the 7 men, and he decided to do a double rotation moonsault off the top, just killing everyone and himself. At that point, the Undisputed Era went into the right ring, and the faces were in the left ring. They all just looked at each other, and they were all just holding each other up at this point, just all dead. All literally dead. They got into the center steel bit. They just went at it. They just went to war. It's War Games. They went to war. They went to war. I believe Hansen and Rowe hit Fallout. I can't remember who won. They hit Fallout, though. And they hit Fallout on, I think it was Fish. And then Strong and O'Reilly hit Total Elimination on Hansen, I'm going to say. Then we had Cole in the left ring. He took out Ricochet, sent him into the cage. He went for Dunne. He hit him with the knee. Oh no! Yes, he gave Ricochet. Ricochet did a double springboard into a super kick from Adam Cole, so he was down. Pete Dunne was in the ring with Adam Cole. Pete Dunne grabbed the arm, went for the bitter end. Adam Cole countered the bitter end into a DDT. He gave him the kneecap brainbuster. Hit the last shot. 1, 2. Pete Dunne kicks out. He goes for a last shot to the back of the head. Dunne ducks, hits the bitter end. Ricochet flies in with a 450. Everyone's saying it's 630. It's a 450 because he lands like that. 450. Both men drape the arm over Adam Cole. 1, 2, 3. The baby faces, team face paint, as they all came out in face paint. War Raiders face paint win the day. And at the end, Pete Dunne and Ricochet hold up their titles. They look at their titles. Pete Dunne eyes up the North American titles. They climb the North American title. They climb the cage, and they just pose at the top of it. This War Games match was excellent. Really excellent stuff here. I know a lot of people have said that it was a bit long. I didn't think that. I was shocked to find out it went 48 minutes or 47 minutes. I thought it went less, honestly. And I guess you've got to count that 20-minute portion at the beginning, which, of course, there are no pinfalls or anything. There is no drama, but it's still exciting because you can do some great stuff. With, obviously, Roderick Strong came in and was just amazing. Just giving backbreakers to everyone. Just killed Ricochet with, like, backbreaker. Ooh, backbreaker. It was amazing. But no, this match was excellent. And I think, in the end, the babyface going over makes sense because you can have Ricochet and Dunne feud at the Rumble Takeover. You could do the titles. You could put one on the line. You could put neither on the line. I would be excited for that. I think that could be a 5-star match. They had a very good match in NXT, but I think on a Takeover they'd be given a little bit more time and a little bit more freedom to have a complete finish, whereas on the NXT they obviously had a DQ finish. Great match those two. The War Raiders can obviously go for the tag titles. I imagine they'll win them at the Rumble, honestly, and then I think they might feud with maybe Heavy Machinery. I like Heavy Machinery, especially Otis Derozovich, so I'd be interested to see those guys get a tag title shot because I do actually quite like them. I suppose then Adam Cole can really do anything. He could go after one of the titles. He could go for the NXT title, maybe. You could maybe push Ricochet or Dunn for the NXT title and just have their belt not on the line. Maybe you could do a lot. Or Black, maybe. I think what we basically said that the Gargano Black match was like a pseudo number one contenders match. But no, great match. 4.5 stars. Not quite as good as the two matches that preceded it. They got 4 3/4. But no, that was the end to NXT Takeover War Games 2. Just an excellent wrestling show. Excellent all round. Fantastic strike battle between Gargano and Black. You had a great story and psychology with the Ciampa Dream. And then you had a real war, a tactical war that really, I've never seen. I don't think it was the best War Games. Maybe better than last year's. I'd have to rewatch the full match, really. I rewatched a little bit at my friends because they were watching it yesterday before I got there, and I kind of saw the end. Great match last year. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. Same I gave it this year. Very great show. Really great. The women's match, as I said, I just think it gets lost in the shuffle. And obviously, the Matt Riddle thing was, I think, actually very cool. I think it was actually very, very good. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been Rover Slot. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to tell me your thoughts. What did you think to NXT TakeOver War Games 2? Which was your favourite matchup? I honestly couldn't pick between it'd probably be between the Black match and the Dream match. I might be going the Dream match and might be edging towards the Ciampa match. What was your favourite match? What was your least favourite match? Do you think this is the best NXT TakeOver of all time? I would say if this match had a 4-star women's match, if that women's match, which I gave 3 3/4 to, was given another 5 minutes and it was allowed to be a little bit like 4-star, 4.5, 4.25, this would maybe be the best NXT TakeOver of all time. At the minute, to me, it's probably still New Orleans, followed by probably Chicago, or Dallas. Dallas was a great show. But I guess thanks for watching, guys. This has been Rover Slot. Like, comment, and subscribe for